Who could have guessed one kiss from an 80-year-old woman actually brought back Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest swordsman in history? Every scientist in the room was floored. None of them had any idea what this crazy old woman was doing. But strangely enough, that one kiss actually caused Miyamoto's flatline brainwaves to start jumping. The next second, the old battle scars on Miyamoto's body reappeared. Then the muscles in his face started regaining their tone. But just as everyone stood there in disbelief, Miyamoto's limbs suddenly began convulsing. Nobody expected it. This warrior who had been asleep for 500 years had actually been successfully brought back to life. But the very first thing Miyamoto did after waking up was grab the old woman by the face. No matter how hard she struggled, she couldn't get loose. Looked like that kiss wasn't quite enough to satisfy him. Taking in the unfamiliar surroundings, Miyamoto hurled the old woman away. Then in a flash, he appeared behind everyone in the room. Every scientist there nearly wet themselves. But Miyamoto wasn't there to take anyone's life. He just had a few simple questions. Most importantly, why did these people bring him back? Tokugawa quickly stepped in to explain, telling Miyamoto not to worry about anything. Just do whatever he felt like doing. There was just one request, that Miyamoto would be willing to fight other martial artists. But Miyamoto noted that in his current shape, just walking out the door would be a struggle. Hearing that, Tokugawa immediately brought out some clothes he'd prepared. Miyamoto got dressed without hesitation. Now that he'd been brought back, he figured he might as well enjoy everything this modern world had to offer. Meanwhile, Baki was still grinding away in the basement of his home. The yawning he couldn't shake off stopped the exact moment Miyamoto came back to life. Though they were miles apart, Miyamoto's powerful heartbeat had already reached Baki's ears. He didn't know who those heartbeats belonged to, but Baki was certain their meeting wasn't far off. Meanwhile, the freshly revived Miyamoto was riding through the streets in Tokugawa's Rolls-Royce, looking at the towering skyscrapers around him. Miyamoto was absolutely blown away. These colossal structures were far more impressive than anything he'd ever seen back in the Edo period. The people walking around in trendy modern clothes made him stand out like he didn't belong. There were rooms that could move up and down, and iron boxes that ran faster than any horse. Everything around him was blowing his mind. Then Tokugawa brought him to his private underground fighting arena. Miyamoto grabbed a handful of sand and immediately felt it. This was exactly where he belonged before he could even say it. A swordsman walked in from the other side of the arena. He was Japan's undisputed master swordsman, Sabu Kyoichiro. But the moment this elite warrior laid eyes on Miyamoto, he broke out in a cold sweat. He felt compelled to ask who this person was. But faced with Kyoichiro's question, Tokugawa didn't reveal Miyamoto's identity. They'd agreed beforehand to keep it secret until after the fight. But Kyoichiro was so terrified he just surrendered on the spot. From the moment they met until now, he'd already been cut 6 times in his head. If you counted this moment, that made a full 7 cuts. The first cut came the instant they met. Miyamoto sliced Kyoichiro straight down from head to toe. The second came when he left an opening and got run straight through the throat. Third cut straight through the chest. Fourth a clean sweeping strike from the side. Fifth sliced clean in half at the waist. Sixth the diagonal cut from shoulder to thigh. Seventh both arms taken off at once. Tokugawa was completely baffled. Miyamoto clearly wasn't holding any weapon. So how was he pulling off these strikes? Miyamoto gave a slight smile at that. Why would he bother carrying around something as inconvenient as a sword? He could cut people down just fine without one. Then Miyamoto asked to take a look at the other man's weapon. Looking at the katana in his hand, Miyamoto's expression turned nostalgic. The blade looked impressive on the outside, but in Miyamoto's eyes, it was all style and no substance. Tokugawa asked Miyamoto to show off his swordsmanship so they could all see it. But these two flashy-looking swords couldn't hold up against Miyamoto's strength at all. He pinched the katana between his index finger and thumb, then swung both hands downward. Both katanas instantly snapped clean at the hilt. In Miyamoto's book, these blades were nothing but junk. They looked like swords but couldn't even survive an air swing. With that said, Miyamoto declared he wanted to meet the strongest person here. Whoever they were, he would take them down completely.